Hey everybody, welcome back to Laptop Seniors. You probably heard about the breach of Social Security, where someone got in and they've taken all of the Social Security numbers and all of the information of everybody that has ever had a Social Security number. In other words, if you're a U.S. citizen at the moment and you've had a Social Security number, which I'm sure you would have, your information is now out on the dark web. It's like everybody. It's not like some people, they only got part of it, they got it all. And also the addresses and birth dates and basically everything one would need to steal someone's identity or to use that Social Security number, which will wreak havoc on you if somebody does it for you somewhere down the road. A really easy example is, say someone goes for a job and they need a Social Security number because they're illegal in the country, okay? And there's a lot of those at the moment, okay? So they have a Social Security number, except that it's yours. They take a job and they start getting paid on that Social Security number and using your name. Except when it comes time to pay taxes, they don't pay them. Okay, the IRS starts to go looking for somebody because, hey, because they're getting stuff from the company that we paid this person, you, and with this Social Security number and this name and this address and all that sort of stuff. Except that you didn't do that because you, especially if you're like in Panama or Argentina or Malaysia or Thailand, you're some other part of the world. It has nothing to do with you and you don't even know it's happening. But also you could be in the US, you could be anywhere in the world, and someone is using your number, you don't know about it. Well, the IRS sort of doesn't take that as excuse, at least not lightly, okay? They're going to be driving you nuts to try to, get their money because as far as they know, you did that. So how do you protect yourself from that? This is the whole point of the video. How do you protect that from somebody doing that thing? Well, one easy way that's free is you simply go to Social Security and you lock your number. So if you or anybody else, say, was applying for a job or trying to open a bank account or a credit card and you need that Social Security number, they give them that number, and when it goes to check, Social Security goes, no. So all of a sudden red flags are all over it. If it's a bank, if it's a job person, they're going to go, wait a minute, something's wrong here. This number isn't working, okay? And then you get an email, and we'll go through that. You get an email that's saying somebody has tried to use your Social Security number, okay? So that's the setup for this whole thing. Now, I get two parts of this video. One is going to be about 10 minutes, and then there's going to be a very short part of this where I'm just going to walk you through, assuming that you're kind of tech savvy and you're used to working on websites and going through and putting your information in, and then you can lock the card yourself. In either event, okay? You can do it. I'm just going to give you the wording of how to do it. And then for the longer version, in this same video, I'm going to actually literally go to the Social Security site because I had to do it, and I thought I might as well just record this at the same time. You'll see step by step each thing that you need to do on the screen, just the way it comes up, to how to actually lock and unlock and then lock again your Social Security number, because you're watching me do it with my number. It's just that for that 10-minute period while that part of the video is going where it's really specific, I'm not showing you my number. You'll see everything else, but there's some security things that go back and forth that obviously I'm going to block those out because I don't want anybody to know how to do this for my number. But you'll see how to do it, lock it up for yours, and you'll be totally safe, okay? So if you just want to follow the instructions, I'm going to throw them on screen and I'm going to talk you through them. There's 9 or 10 instructions that'll more than do it for you to be able to do it because I'm following these instructions. That's how I did it. And after this, I'm going to go to the website and we'll do it together. So first off, let's go through what you need to do. These are the steps to locking your Social Security number, and you have to go here. For some reason, I have no idea why. If you want to do, like ID.gov, you can't do it on there. If you actually want to go to SSA.gov, the literal Social Security site, you can't do it there either. I have no idea why you can't do it on the Social Security site. You'd think that would be the logical place to be able to pull this off, but you can't. You actually have to go to a part that's basically Homeland Security, and we'll go through that right now. And that's called MyEVerify, okay? So let's take them step by step. First off, Go to MyEVerify on their website. The actual address is on your screen right now. It's myeverify.uscis.gov for, government. Number 2, click on Create Account. Then, number 3, they're going to ask you to type in your email address. After you type in the email address and you want to hit OK, it's going to send you an email and it's going to go to your inbox. And in that inbox, it's a confirmation and there'll be a long email address type thing. It'll be a URL. When you click that, it's going to take you back to the site you were just on. But now you're confirmed that the email address that you gave them actually goes somewhere and that you can receive it. So that's number 4. Number 5 is you're going to be hit with a whole bunch of terms. It's the legal terms and, we're not responsible for this, that, and the other thing. Just go through them all and say, okay. That'll take you down to number 6. Number 6 is they're going to ask you to create a password because obviously you're going to need to sign in with something and you're going to need to have a password. And the something, your username that they're going to ask you to sign in with is going to be the email address that you just gave them. But then they need a password and that's what this is for. Number 7, you set up two-factor authentication, 2FA. You can basically, are they going to send you a text message and say, is this you? Or are they going to send you an email, is this you? Or are you going to use an app? Most people are probably going to be using either their email, they'll get an email and saying, hey, are you trying to sign in? Or, a text message, same thing, hey, are you trying to sign in, okay? After you do that, they're going to send you a backup code, okay? So print, write down, otherwise save your permanent backup code because you're going to use that in case you lose access to your 2FA authentication. In other words, if for some reason your email doesn't work and you can't get a text and you never did have, a key app, okay, none of those original 3 ways, it's going to go, I can't send you anything for you to verify that you're you. Okay, that would be like, now what do? You're screwed. So the backup code that they would have sent you, that's what you want to save it for because after all of those don't work, you can give them the backup code and they go, okay, you are you. And then you can sign in and unlock or lock or whatever you want to do with your account. It gets you back into the account. Say, super important, okay, save it. Number 9, they're going to give you security questions. They're going to give you 5 security questions. It's the usual kind where there's a pull-down menu and you see like 20 questions, what's your mother's maiden name, where were you born, what city were you married in, all the usual stuff. What's your favorite pet, what's your pet's name, all of those usual things. You need to pick out 5 of those and set them up for, with your answers, okay? Just a hint, I would do them all in lowercase. I would not do them in caps just in case they don't say your favorite city is Washington. Okay, I would write in the word Washington with all lowercase because if you happen to do it or your spell checker wants to do capital W and ASH blah 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 Washington, on the other end it might be case sensitive and you're unaware of it and it won't work. I mean, for me, what I do is I make everything lowercase when I get these kind of things, okay? So do it lowercase, all right? And whatever you type is what the answer is going to be. So if you spell it wrong, just be careful. If you spell it wrong, it's not going to work, okay? Because you may all of a sudden spell it correctly when you really need to do it later, and and you're screwed. And obviously, again, for these, write them down, especially if you have a password manager. You'd make one for this site and put these answers to these 5 questions in your password manager. What I usually do is, and it's a safe way, I actually write the question with the answer, just in case I drop dead or something and somebody else is going to be using my manager for stuff. They're going to know what's going on because they can match up. Oh, here's the question they're answering, and here's the way he answered it. Okay, a lot of stuff here. It's minor, but can turn out to be major later. After you set up the 5 questions, accept the terms of service and move on to the next thing. Here's where it starts to get really technical to a degree. They're going to ask you for a lot of personal information, your name, your address, phone number, and a whole bunch of different things that's specific to you. Social Security number, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? You're going to fill that out and hit OK. They're going to ask you to take a look at it one more time. Is this what you want to write? Before you hit confirm, and you look through it, and if you need to fix something, fix it. If not, okay, you're good. Hit confirm. Now, after it confirms, it's going to go doing some chugging along and trying to match you up, everything you gave them, with all the information government-wise that they have on file for you, your address now, your past addresses. And they'll go back basically your entire life, and where you worked, and what credit cards you have, and what bank accounts you would have opened in particular banks in particular cities, across the U.S. It'll only be U.S. stuff, okay? After it does that, what it's then going to do, it's going to come back to you, and it'll start giving you multiple choice questions with answers. And I'll just make these up, but it'll be questions like this. It'll be, which one of these bank account cities have you had a bank account in? And then it'll start listing them. It'll be like, you'll see like Denver, Los Angeles, Dallas, Miami, Pittsburgh. Now, in theory, one of those you would have lived in and opened a bank account in, and you choose that. If all of those, you look at them and go like, I've never lived in any of those cities, and I have no bank accounts in any of those cities, the last answer of pretty much of all the questions is, I don't recognize any of these. I think that's actually the way the wording was. Okay, so you're going to get a bunch of questions like that. I think there's 3 of them, and they probably would go 4 or 5. Say if you got, I happen to get all of them right, but it's possible maybe, I just don't know because it didn't happen to me, but it's possible you could answer 2 out of the 3, and they go, oh, you got 2 out of 3 right, and then they'll serve you up another 3 or another 1 or maybe more. They're going to keep going until it's pretty clear that you can answer all the questions and you are you. After you verify everything, the next page that comes up it's a really simple one. It's just got 2 little sections, and one of them says, lock my social security number. That's it. And if you hit that lock my social security number, it is then going to give you 3 more questions where you're going to have to fill out, like I was mentioning before, of, what city have I, where's my favorite city? What city have I lived in? What school did I go to? Those kind of things. It'll give you 3 more of those. You pick out the ones you want to use, you answer those questions, and then you hit lock my social security number, and it'll lock it. And you're done. If you want to check it, like I wanted to check it, it was like, okay, does this work? Let me unlock it. I hit unlock, and it just unlocked, which was weird. I was like, wow, okay, I thought I'd have to go through, answering some of these questions that I just put in, but it didn't ask for that. I just unlocked it, maybe because I was already signed in. They knew that I was me. But anyway, I unlocked it. Then I thought, all right, I'll lock it back up again, because that was my whole purpose, as will be your purpose, is to lock your social security number. And again, it asked me to fill out those three questions, and again, answer 3, and then it locked back up again. Okay? So that's it from beginning to end. I thought that would be a lot shorter, but anyway, it's on the screen. And so that'll do it. If you are still confused, or you want to actually see me walk through it on the website, we'll do that now. This is the home page, and this is where you start to verify yourself and get to the point where you can block your social security number from anybody else. Okay, you go to myeverify.uscis.gov, and this is the page. And you can see it up here, up at the top of the page of what I have for the URL. So what you want to do is you want to create an account if you don't already have an account. And probably most of you won't have an account. Anyway, so let's create an account. That brings you to this page where you start to create the online account. They start with an email address. I would do this because I did do this, and maybe you might, maybe for some reason you actually have an account already and you don't realize it. So you might want to try the sign in. I thought maybe if I had an account already, the computer would just put in the passwords and email address, but it didn't. So put an email address in here. I just made this up, obviously, and then hit submit, and it's going to take you to where you start to fill out stuff. After you put your email address in and hit send, you're going to get an email from them with this. and it's going to take you to another page where you just keep right on going. It's the usual terms, and government ones are forever. So we'll agree to that and just keep going. Now it's going to ask you to create a password. Somewhere between 8 and 64 characters. Letters, numbers, special characters, emojis. Wow, I've never seen that before. You can actually use an emoji. And let's see what this thing says. You've seen this on many sites, how to create a password, so do your own. And I like to do my own. Sometimes you can take what they do. That they have this one, FYTMAR dash blah 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 blah. I like to just choose my own password because I have a password manager, so I can remember what it is. Like right now, I've already saved it before I've even done the site. So okay, so let's move on from there. There's the password. Would I like to save this? Yes, I would. Now it wants to do two-step verification. This is one of those things where if you're in the United States and you're retired there, or Canada, and everything is normal to you, it's probably better to take the text message one. They tend to be faster. Maybe an app if you happen to have one. I find that when you're out of the country, email is best, because a lot of times text messages won't reach you in some other part of the world, or they'll take forever and the thing will expire. So let's just say we're going to receive an email. So when they want to do that two-step thing, they're going to send an email to you. Hit submit. They're going to ask you to confirm that it actually works, which means going back to your email and checking if it's there and what's that number. There's the number they sent. And we're going to hit submit. This is very, very important. This is a backup code. You can't see it because I blocked mine out, but they send you a backup code that you should save, because if you can't get in for some other reason, the email doesn't work, maybe you're texting, something just is all messed up for whatever reason, the last rung that'll get you in is this backup code. It's a good idea to save what they're going to send you and then hit continue, and we'll move on. They're going to ask you to make some security questions, and let's just see what they have here. They got the usual. There's a whole bunch of different choices. You'd have to do this on your own. Last name of your favorite childhood teacher. Who remembers that? What city did you meet your spouse? And your youngest sibling, and all that sort of stuff. Okay? So you would fill these things out. 5 questions. Wow. Okay. More policy stuff. Wow. A lot of legal on this thing. Holy moly. Okay, check this box. I'm authorized to accept the terms of service. Yes, let's do that. Move to the next page. Then you would fill out this personal stuff. I'm not going to do it, but you're going to know how to do this stuff. After you send them your name and address and all this information, it will give you another set of questions that you need to answer. They're multiple choice, and you have to match them all so that you can verify that you are you. After you answer all the questions and the thing comes back, whether they can recognize that you're you, depending on how your answers are. Did you live at this address? They'll give you a whole bunch of different addresses. You have to pick the right one. Did you live in this city? What kind of credit cards have you had, in 2022? So you have to remember back. Basically, they're picking off pieces of your life from your online history and stuff that you've dealt with, IRS or whatever. And if you match everything up correctly, you end up coming to this page, and this is the one you actually want. So welcome to my E-Verify, and I don't know what this is. Track a I guess if you can track a number if you want, I suppose. Does it say? No, it just says help. Anyway, got any open cases? Oh, it's brand new. Of course, there's not going to be any. There's no history. But this is what you want right here. Manage my Social Security number. Okay? And you would check this, and let's see what happens then. Great. Okay. So about self-lock. Self-lock allows you to lock your Social Security number, protect it against unauthorized use. With E-Verify or Self-Check, your self-lock remains active as long as your account remains valid and you have not unlocked your Social Security number. Unlock it at any time through my E-Verify account, which is this account, obviously. Once you lock your SSN, no one can use your Social Security number in E-Verify or Self-Check, including you. For example, if you are currently employed and you start a new job with an E-Verify employer, they won't be able to access the information, and you will receive a self-lock DHS tentative non-confirmation mismatch. And if you receive a DHS TNC, you'll receive instructions on how to resolve it. So presumably, if you were going for a new job or somewhere you needed to use your Social Security number, and maybe applying for a credit card or something else, bank, open a bank account, they're going to check. It's going to come back, hey, I can't get your number, nothing's working here, but you're going to get an email that's going to say to you, hey, you better unlock your account and go back and tell that other person to try again. You might want to do it, as they say here, before starting a new job. So unlock it, give them the number, let them do what they do, and then lock it back up again. So let's lock it up right now. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're asking challenge questions for self-locking. To lock the Social Security number, complete the information below and select and answer the self-lock challenge questions. Now, presumably, these are going to be the same questions that you had before, or maybe you have to make new ones. But again, we just made 5 of them earlier. No, these are all new ones. These ones were not the part of the other 5. These are different questions in here. Okay, so you have to complete the challenge questions. Interesting. So fill out these 3 questions and answers and then hit the lock button at the bottom. Now I just locked my Social Security number. Okay, now I'm not going to let you see it, obviously, whatever, put the answers in, but I'm going to try to unlock it just to make sure that this works. So I'm going to unlock the Social Security number. Presumably it is going to, oh, wow, it just unlocked it. I thought maybe it would start asking questions and things. Huh, that's interesting. All right, well, let's lock it back up again. Same stuff. So every time you lock it, you have to make three challenging questions for yourself. Long video. I thought that would take a lot less. The front end and the part where I'm actually doing it, way shorter than what it actually took to do. But hopefully by now you have a great idea, a perfect idea ideally, how to lock your Social Security number and also how to unlock it and then lock it back up again, because you may have to do that. Hope that helped. Hope you got something out of it. As always, thanks for watching the channel. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for when the next video is coming up. And until that time, see ya.